What's your question? What's your experience?
Yeah, I can relate.
Okay.
You telling me the right things.
Okay.
Somebody didn't explain it that way before.
And that's what it is. That's what, because I mean, at the last gathering we had, it was the question, and you know, we can keep it real. That's what your G spot is. A lot of people don't know that. Now, if your G spot is not being hit by your partner, take a bath. And when you're in a bath, do your Kegels, because being in warm water helps your vagina to contract. Okay, so again, when you're with your partner, and say you're not going to use a toy or something like that, or you're just using hands, take your fist, and you want to go up under your stomach, and you want to massage that area between your vagina is and your stomach, and you want to massage right there, and you want to press. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you want to massage right there. You are going to feel a sensation out of this world before you have intercourse. Okay, or before you with your partner, whatever happens, because if they, in fact, if it's oral, then it's not going to be hitting the G spot. It's going to be stimulating it, because you've already massaged, and your body responds to massage because of stimulation. Okay, so now you have a couple of different things that you can do with your G spot. So whether you're on top, whether you're on bottom, what you can do if it's not being hit, because most times it doesn't, because you have to move and you gotta, you know, help and all that type of stuff, that hurts the hips. I mean, it's the truth. It just does. You know, and it kind of, you know, build up a little something in the thighs, but over time it's a little irritating. So what you do your Kegels. If you're having problems with like size and different things like that, take a bath. When you get out of the water, you're gonna contract. Not significantly, but over time you will. And do your Kegels. And then you want to massage it up under your stomach, above your vagina,
and the
that'll
Kegels
help.
again were.
That's where you contract the vagina and you release.
Okay.
And now the other thing that you can do, which is awesome. Does anybody know how to slow wine?
Slow wine?
It's a dance.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, the reason. Okay. Now that's something else that you can do, or you could just do just a roll. Like just left to right like that, because what you're doing and doing your Kegels at the same time, you're strengthening this area. Because if you have to do a lot of work when you're on the bottom, you don't want to be hurt, because it's easy to hurt your hips if you're on the bottom and you have to do a lot of work, especially like if someone's down there and you're trying to, you know, help and all that type of stuff. That's unhealthy for you, because you can end up numbing yourself. You could end up numbing the clitoris. It's the truth.
Okay, you talking about doing oral or just regular?
Both. Because sometimes people they have orgasms through oral stimulation or even physical. Most women are oral, but if it's because of the friction, and let's just say if you always have to move to try to help them find their spot, and it's physical, over time it's going to actually begin to hurt your hips. Or if you get up, it's not going to be that feeling of when, you know, it's been awesome love making. It's going to be like you've worked, and you might have problems with your hips over time. So what you want to do is begin to do little exercises that you can do to relieve some of that pain that you might feel if you do have to work. And also massaging your partner on the lower half of the body, if that's something that you're doing, is very important during intercourse. Any questions? It's the truth and it works. So
I have a question. Is it true that we was on a conference call last week, and this one of my customers had a question. She was asking me what can she use because she feels that her spouse is too short. And I was talking about the extenders. Is it true that guys really, in order to hit the G spot, they're really not too short, or they may not be receiving them correctly or something like that?
Well, there's a couple of different things.
I done heard that twice. That they said,
right,
you know, it's no such thing that the guy is just not too short.
It's the way that he's working it, because they oftentimes say size doesn't matter, but if you're a person who's well endowed, a woman, and you know she's a little larger than him, then size does matter, because he's just not fitting, because he can't fit you. But if he's short, it's how he's working it. You're gonna have to help him. So you're gonna have to do your Kegels. You're also gonna have to be on an angle and press up more, so that, and probably have a pillow up under your behind to help. And also that means that your legs, you're gonna raise your legs.
Or he can raise your.
That'll work.
If he's on top, you just kind of like lift
wanna
up
raise
a little
it.
bit, so you'll be able to receive him more. But
And do your Kegels. Very important. If that's an issue, take a bath, do your Kegels, and you want to be on an angle. Then you shouldn't have a problem. You shouldn't have, but you also won't be irritated, because I just told you there's a couple different things that you have to do. You wouldn't be irritated because it'll be something that'll be nice and comfortable, but they also won't be. You won't make them feel bad because they're small.
Right.
But it's how they work it. That's the truth.
Yeah, because I was trying to introduce the sleeve to her, but she know that he will not be. She would not be able to bring anything in her bedroom. So.
But if he's not going to be open to that, then there's some other things that they got to deal with. But I would definitely suggest going ahead and doing what I suggested, is laying on a slant, on an ankle. Very important to use a pillow, and that works. It feels quite good, actually. Or you know what they could try is they could try oral before physical.
Right. That's what she said. It's fine, but then after the oral, when she comes, it's just not there.
Right.
So she is just, I don't know, maybe they just probably need to, well, he won't do no other positions anyway. Cause, I mean, I was trying to introduce this book to her, but he's not even, he don't want her bringing anything. He don't want her, start sex, like, you know, initiate. He don't want her to do that. So I'm just trying to, I thought she was going to come, but she had said she wasn't able to come.
You know, so a situation.
So she's just kind of lost. It's been 10 years, and it's just kind of like, this is ridiculous. Now I'm going through this for 10 years. This is ridiculous, you know.
Well, see.
Or more than 10, but something like that.
I mean, they remind me of some clients that I had. But you know, looking at something like that, a lot of people go through that. They need to close the bedroom door for a season, because there are some other issues. They need to have a conversation, need to talk, need to rebuild, because there's a bunch of broken pieces there.
Right.
And then maybe he'll be open, because there's some ego and some pride issues, in my opinion. But it can be fixed, though. It can be fixed.
Yeah.
Broken egos can be fixed. Any questions? Anything anybody want to know?
What about the opposite? What if he's very well endowed and certain spots are painful?
Okay. As far as lubrication, I would suggest using more lubrication and doing possibly having oral sex before intercourse, because that would actually help to lubricate even more on top of using just a regular lubricant. Like something, they have one, I think it's wet. I think,
The desensitizer?
I don't know which, I think it might be that one, but it's a really good lubricant that you have. That one would be good, and then having oral sex before physical, because that can damage you. Because definitely, I'm sure you're hitting your G spot, but you're not gonna feel it because it's too much. But if you're lubricated, that'll actually help. And the positions to stay away from, if the person is very well endowed, is being on top. It's being on top.
Because then that way you can control how far you want to go.
Right. You have to be careful. But see, the other thing is, if she's on top and he's well endowed, he might get excited and pull her more to him. And if her legs are not very strong, then that can be disastrous. So being on the bottom or on the side might be better. But definitely staying away from being on your knees. Okay? Because then that could cause a rupture in your bladder. That ultimately can cause a UTI, urinary tract infection, or a yeast infection.
Right. Because if you're not ready, if you're not there and you're not ready for all that, I mean, it can get painful.
Right.
I mean, even in the beginning. I mean,
right.
Because
Yeah,
when you get out of the bathtub, shower, whatever, you know, very dry, and if you just kind of like going for the gusto, you know, that's hurt when you're not in the mood.
It does.
I mean, I don't care how many kids I don't have. It hurts when you're not in the mood.
It does.
You know?
It does hurt, and especially if the person is well
endowed. Not gonna get you ready. Yeah, get me ready or back up off me.
Right. You know, you have to be very careful. But those are things. The lubrication, always oral before intercourse, because it's gonna really help. Because what being well endowed and then it being painful is serious, because there are some different things that can happen that after love making is done, you can be sore, you can hurt, and those things you have to be careful about, because you can tear. And what you'll have is a reoccurring infection that you might not even know you have until it gets bad, until you might have pain or different things like that. Lubrication is the key in that instance. Indeed. Any questions? Any concerns? Anybody going through anything? Anything you want to know? Awesome. My last thing I want to share is about kissing. And I don't know. Yeah, kissing's good. It's very intimate. It's important. But as far as breath, and gum, people think they can just throw gum in their mouths. Stay away from that. The reason being because there are certain